Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Messages from the Mars Owl. Today I'm not going to pull a card, I'm going to do something a little bit different and just talk about some of the things that, some of the downloads or experiences that I've been going through lately. I'll try and keep it as brief as possible, but for any of those, for those of you who have been going through a spiritual awakening or an ascension, the next ascension of the awakening and becoming more and more aware of consciousness, of being conscious and being the creator, and understanding that we are all one and reflections of each other, here to create through our unique gifts and shine and share that uniqueness with the world for the greater good of all. For those of you on that path, well, keep watching. Today I had a really confronting experience, in the sense that I've been asking Great Spirit for more about where am I supposed to do the work, where am I supposed to be of service, and a few more ideas came into my head, inspirational ideas for me to look into. But with that also came with a bit of a test and an initiation to see if I'm up for the challenge. So yeah, I was confronted this morning, not necessarily confronted, I was more triggered by actions of some people close to me. And did I pass with flying colours? Well, according to myself, I would say no. However, I did manage to state my boundaries, which probably in the past I would have let it slide and accepted what the other person was saying to be true, which wasn't my truth. So in that sense, I passed with flying colours. Could I have done it a different way? Yes, absolutely. The point I'm trying to make is what occurred to me last night. I think what I wrote to a friend was understanding it's through the boundaries that we set, boundaries of steel. I watched this incredible interview between Russell Brand and Brene Brown, I think her name is Brene Brown, about vulnerability, and I think Brene Brown has a TED talk about vulnerability, which went viral. In any case, I actually haven't seen it yet, so it's something that I might want to look into, or that you might want to look into. What I do want to bring your awareness to is that the higher in consciousness that we tend to go, the more power and influence we have throughout our community, and the more we are able to have opportunities to stand in our truth and be in integrity through our choices and actions that we choose. It really does. As you get higher in consciousness, I'm finding that it is much easier to manifest the things that you want. And when you manifest from heart space, the divine really is willing to give you whatever you want when you manifest from that place, because they know that your purpose and your why is so much bigger than you. It is for the greater good of all. So just be aware that the thoughts you think, so having that mind mastery is quite important, and being aware of the thoughts that you think, and also how you feel and how you act and react towards other people. I guess for me this morning was very much about standing in my power, not giving my power away, creating those boundaries, but doing it in a really compassionate way, having that compassion in my heart to know that I was doing my best, the person that I was speaking to was doing their best, and whatever situation went on beforehand at that time, everyone involved were doing their best at that time. I'll leave a link to the Russell and Brene interview down in the comment box, because I highly recommend it, and there's some really great parenting techniques that she uses as well. So I wrote some things down. Knowing that you have the as you go in higher levels of consciousness, knowing this can be a bit daunting to some people, about taking 100% responsibility for their actions and for their truth and for their feelings and thoughts. We are becoming a more telepathic society, whether you realize it or not, and these gifts are coming online. So even just the thoughts that you think, understanding that the thoughts you think are judgments, they are they're of the ego, they're of the mind, of the past and the future. They're not in the present moment. The present moment is filled with incredible love, and it might not seem like it at the time, even when you're going through some really hard times of disagreement, struggle, power struggles, force, things that trigger you. In that moment of time, you might not be feeling that way, but that's probably because the mind's taking you to a past circumstance that is triggering you, that's coming up for you to be healed. Shame is one of the worst, or I wouldn't say worst, it's one of the lowest frequencies that many of us carry within us, that really it comes up so that it can be healed, because once we can move on from shame and move up the ladder of emotions and vibrational heightened vibration, to love frequency. I think that's at 500. I think in one of my other videos I said 400, but love frequency is actually 500 according to David Hawkins. So what else did I want to say? It might seem like there's a lot of responsibility for you, but actually with the responsibility, it means that we can bring, it's almost like you're bringing the light down to the love, the light from Father Sky down to Mother Earth, Mother Love. And this is bringing heaven, essentially bringing heaven down to earth. And this is the gift that you have when you are able to take full responsibility for your own actions, not for others, because their truth is their truth. It is not your truth. And when you're able to express that through a place of heart space, through a place of love and compassion, and compassion doesn't always necessarily mean like I just agree with you, and it doesn't mean that at all. Compassion is setting those really boundaries of steel, those strong boundaries to say, this is my truth and I'm not okay with something. And it's, what did I write yesterday? Excuse me. I wrote we live in an inclusive world, not an exclusive world. So it is about conflict resolution through compassion and heart space and love, that we are able to live together in harmony. How that looks internally is not excluding the negative thoughts, not living without the mind or the ego. It's not telling the ego, I don't want you in my life anymore. It's about mind mastery, so that you can live with the ego, and the ego is willing to create a co-creative role with you, with your soul. So it's not about I'm a spiritual being now and therefore I have no ego. It's about the ego being mastered, in the sense that it listens to the soul and it creates with the soul. I hope that makes sense. It does to me, and it did to me when I wrote it last night. What else do I want to say about things? I went to a free morning yoga class the other morning, on Tuesday morning at 6:15, with some gorgeous Spanish sisters who were putting that on down in Bondi. And what, for any of you in the neighborhood, it's down near the muscle gym, so that's every Tuesday at 6:15. And they finished their yoga exercise with a beautiful song about I release control. I don't know what this song is called. I've definitely heard it before, but it's just a little mantra that goes around and around, and it says, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And it was such a beautiful mantra to sing in a small group with people that you don't know and have just met, and singing that together in harmony was so beautiful. So I really appreciate that, so thank you so much. The other thing I want to mention is sometimes when we're going through these tests, so to speak, or initiations, and to seeing if we're up for the challenge of moving forward in consciousness, is that you're not alone. And when we go back to old patterns of believing that we're alone, or pushing people away, or not speaking and voicing our truth, it can very much seem like you're alone. So what I suggest is, whatever you're going through in that moment of time, breathe, 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 breathe in the light as much as you can. If you can't do that, walk away from the situation and call somebody that you can think that you can call, and ask for assistance, ask for help. If there's no one available at the time, call on your guides, call on your call on whoever it is that you believe in. And if that's yourself, that you believe in yourself and you believe in your greatest light, because you are the light bearer, you are your own light, you are the light that is all, then call upon that. Get out in nature, hug a tree, go and pat a dog. Do whatever you can to get out of the darkness, and then you can revisit the place that feels hurt and vulnerable, and when you're coming from a place of centered truth. So that's my little video for today. I hope you got some good information about it, about whatever I said. I don't even know what I've said now. But I do know that we're all in this together, and the tipping point has passed where the light is shining, and it might not seem like it throughout the chaos, but each individual person out there can move and shine their light further and further and show their truth. We are spiritual beings living a human experience, having a human experience, and whatever, we can choose to see what has power over us or not, because we only can control what we think and what we feel and the actions we take. We cannot control anything else outside of us. That is up to the divine. That is up to Great Spirit, to God, to the universe, to whatever force, conscious force there is outside of us. We have that power internally, and that is your power too. So the light I see in you is the light I see in me, from my heart to yours. Namaste.